Howdy, y'all. So we got notes 1.4 times 0. If you have the sheet, great, and if you don't, you can always write everything out so you're not falling behind. Because honestly, I probably won't remember where I put this sheet yesterday, the next time I see you. And another thing, remember with the videos, the camera likes to focus on the object closer to it, so it is going to zoom in and out, and I apologize. I am not tech savvy enough to figure out why it does that and how to fix it, and to be quite honest, I don't want to. So at the beginning we have 1 dot, at 1 minute we got 5 dots, and at 2 minutes we got 9 dots. So as we are continuing the pattern, it is adding by 4 dots every time, okay, which means it is arithmetic, and if it's arithmetic you got a common difference. So it's asking what would it be at 3 minutes. It would be 13, right? Because we would do 9 plus 4 and we would get that 13. Once again, remember this is a video, so you can pause, you can rewind, and I would recommend pausing to see if you can get the answer. Okay, next we got to make a table. I did M and F of M. The M is for minutes, right? F of M, this is the one that doesn't make sense. This is your dots. Now this says at the beginning, 1 minute, and then 2 minutes. So at the beginning must be 0, okay? Because it says then 1 minute, then 2 minutes. So at the beginning we have 1 dot, okay? At 1 minute we had 5 dots. At 2 minutes we had 9 dots. So as we go down a table here from that recursive, we all have that 1 that goes all the way down. Skip, this is a +4, this is a +4 twice, and this helps us write our recursive, which goes f of m equals f of m minus 1 plus 4, given that we started with 0 times 0 with 1 dot. So remember, the recursive has to have the start time. Okay. From there, right, we can make the explicit column, which that 1 would be all the way down. That +4 would also be all the way down. And then we have 2, and we are regular size multiplying because we have arithmetic, right? So that's going to be regular size. You can't multiply to multiply. When you multiply, you use exponents to shorten it up. We have 1 4 here, and then we have no 4 here. All right, notice that these match the parentheses and our m's, so we don't have to do anything special, okay, because it started with that times 0. Equals, we have 1 plus 4. That's staying the same in that 4th column here. And then we're going to have just an m, and you guys kept saying it's because they match, right? The times zeros match, so I don't have to do anything special. All right. The next thing we're going to do is the graph. I already pre-wrote in some numbers. I skip counted because I didn't want to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I drew the number 5. And notice how I give myself an extra little tick mark here to help me visualize where that is supposed to be at, because it does get kind of mixed up when you're doing the stuff, you know? Okay, so with this bottom x-axis, this is going to represent our time, which is minutes. So our y-axis is going to represent our dots. Now we started with 0 minutes, 1 dots. 0 minutes, let me do this in a color. 1 dot. Then we had 1 minute, 5 dots. So I go to 1 minute up to 5 dots. Then we had 2 minutes, 9 dots. So 2 minutes, 9 dots. And then we actually found in letter A here 3 minutes and 13 dots. And if you take a moment, figure out the pattern, because there is a very nice visual pattern that is going on here. It's going up 4, right 1, all the way. So you can actually extend this pattern all the way through. Now, this is making a straight line. And every time you see a straight line happening, and I'm not connecting these on purpose, okay? If you do, that's okay. I know you guys know that from grade school, but I am not connecting them on purpose. But if you have a straight line for your graph, that means this is arithmetic. Okay, straight lines mean you have arithmetic stuff going on. All right, in our next problem here, it says 100 minutes, question mark? Okay, this 100 minutes is going to replace our m. So I'm going to replace both of these m's because I got 2 of them, and I can replace both of them. Everything else about the problem is going to remain the same. Now we have f of 100, so this is not changing. This other side, though, this is the only thing I care about. What's going on here? What math skills are we using? Well, I use my order of operations. 4 times 100 is 400. And then 400 plus 1 is 401. And this, if we're asked about 100 minutes, this 401 represents our dots. Okay? Number next. All right, once again, I pre-wrote a lot of stuff, so don't feel bad. Pause to catch up. So at the beginning we have 3, then we have 6, then you have 12, then you got 24, and then we got 48. So the pattern that is happening is times 2. And if you're timesing by 2, it means you're geometric. And if you're geometric, that means you have a common ratio of 2. In future videos, this will already be changed for you, but that should be a 5. So what is it at 5 minutes? Well, you have to do 48 times 2, which is 96 dots. Okay? I'm using m for minutes because it's minutes. There's nothing special. It says at the beginning, so that's, once again, that's a times 0. And at that beginning, I had 3 dots. As I continue, 1 minute was 6 dots. 2 minutes was 12 dots. And I don't want to write the rest of these, and I'm not going to because I am lazy with no alibi. So I have this 3 I'm starting with all the way down. This is from previous videos. Then I'm multiplying by 2. I skip this one. I multiply 2 once here, but I multiply by 2 twice here. And with that, I can write my recursive, which is at the bottom. F of m equals f of m minus 1 times 2. Given f of 0 equals 3. All right. Let's extend to the explicit column. Again, this is from a previous video, so if you're like, whoa, what's going on? Watch the previous 2. We are on notes 1.4. You need to watch 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So, go 3. Also times m by 2 all the way down, which you guys were rocking out in class. Here we multiplied by 2 twice. Now, because we're multiplying, if we want to take a big thing of multiplying and shrink it, we use our exponents. This one is going to be a 1 because we multiplied by 2 once. This one's going to be a 0 because we multiplied by 2 no times. So my equation is going to go, for the explicit, 3 times 2. And then let's look here. The 0 and 0 match. The 1 and 1 match, the 2 and 2 match. So that means my exponent is just the m, okay? Because they match. If I didn't start with the 0, we would have to do some things, which is going to be the next day's notes, again. All right. So I already have my graph pre-written out just like last time because I'm trying to make this short. We started with, so we got minutes and dots again. I got 0 and 3 minutes. I got 1 and 6 minutes. We have 2 and 12 minutes. So already this one is not having the same pattern going. We know from our dots up above that we have 3 and 24 minutes. So already we don't have the same pattern going on like we before, right? This goes over 1 up 3, this goes over 1 up 6, this goes over 1 up 12. So that is not the same. Whereas the last one, it was the same. It was repeated over and over. So in this case, this is kind of making a bit of a curve. So when you got kind of a curve going on, that's going to be geometric. And when I say curve, it's going to be kind of like one of these two. All right, no more nor less. There is a single curve happening. It's not curvy, it's not curvaceous, it's not got a bunch of curves. It's got a curve, singular. There's only one curve. It's just making a big giant one. Okay, so number next, we got 20 minutes. That's going to replace the m. So I'm going to replace both of these m's, but everything else is going to remain the same about it. So we got 3 times 2 to the exponent 20. This side we're not going to care about anymore. And what we're going to do is the math. To the 20th power, I need you to bear with me for 1 second because it's a big number and I got to look it up because I have forgotten. Okay, it is 3 times 1,048,576. I have to multiply that by 3. And once again, I'm using my handy dandy calculator, which gives me 3,145,728. Big number. Okay, so as you can see, this already has way more dots just at 20 minutes versus prior, which went to 100 minutes. It only got to 401. All right, next word problem is going to be the next problem is a word problem. Because you guys are driving me nuts with this. So, Giamonte used to be able to do 25 push-ups, no problem, but as the school year started, he was too busy saying 6, 7. Then he started slacking on his push-ups. So, first day of school, he was only able to do 22 push-ups. This continues in an arithmetic sequence. So, one thing you need to know is we got a vocab word in here, and it's always good to underline that vocab word. What does that mean? This means add and subtract. Oops. Okay. Now, it's talking about days, which is why I use this letter D. It says he used to be able to do 25 push-ups, no problem. It doesn't say what day. Okay, so we can assume 0. And the reason why is because later on in the problem, it says on the first day, he was only able to do 22. Now, this is continuing in an arithmetic fashion. So as we go down, I'm not going to create the columns because after this, you guys in class were like, oh, we don't need the rest of that. Love that for you. We are subtracting by 3. So that means that by the second day, he can only do 19. And at day 3, well, at day 3, we have to do 19 minus 3 again. So by day 3, he's only doing 16 push-ups. Maybe we shouldn't be saying 6, 7 so much. Okay, so we can actually write all the things that we need, okay? We know it's going to go f of d equals f of d minus 1, subtracting 3, okay? Then we start with the 0 and 25, so you always have to write your pair of start numbers. And then if you think about how your next column would go, it's going to be 25 minus 3. And think about that fourth column. Would the numbers match? They would match. So that means we just need regular sized parentheses D. Okay? If you're like, I can't visualize that, you probably didn't do the videos previously where we do this way too much. Okay. So once again, I got the graph already pre-written, so if you need to pause and do it, absolutely. The bottom here is going to represent our minutes. Again, this though is going to be push-ups. Okay. Now on day 0, he was able to do 25 push-ups, no problem. But then he got 2 into saying 6, 7. So that means on day 1, he was only doing 22. And then on day 2, he was doing 19. And on day 3, he was doing 16. Now, this is a pattern we can follow, okay? It's repeating over and over. It's going down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. So we can continue this pattern all the way through, okay, to where he only gets to 1 push-up. All right. Now, if it's a straight line, it means it's arithmetic, and that's good because we were told it was arithmetic, so we already knew it should have been a straight line. Now in this one, we got 20 days, so this is going to replace the D in our problem, both of them, okay? However, everything else about the problem remains the same. Okay, now f of 20, this we're going to kind of ignore, and we're going to pay attention to right here. So first we got to multiply, so now we got 25 minus 60. And 25 minus 60 is negative 35. This technically means negative 35 push-ups, okay? Is that real life? No. Was I being ridiculous for this problem? Yes. Okay? All right. Now, this is the end of the video. Please rewatch if you need to, but you can also glue this into your notebook. Have a great day. See you on the next day.